In the Tennessee Hill Country, an incredible David versus Goliath story is playing out. A massive federal agency making moves to take family farms. That's when a famous country music star stepped in.
Okay, that's it. Gloves off. I don't know what we're going to do, but fists up, here we come. And that's when the fight started.
A community up in arms in a modern version of The Grapes of Wrath.
The killing of Charlie Kirk has opened an investigation into the motivations of the shooter and raised questions about what is fueling the American divide.
The violence we are seeing is not purely organic.
This week, we talk with two experts about an active operation to destabilize our country.
The Chinese construct is more about unwinding key themes and messages.
The Russians, they don't care if they're radicalizing us to the right or to the left.
And a post-COVID concern about commercial air travel. Pilots who got the vaccine are suffering heart problems at rates higher than what the CDC said the natural average should be, considerably higher. A look at some facts behind a new fear of flying. Welcome to Full Measure. I'm Sharyl Attkisson. The Grapes of Wrath was a Pulitzer Prize-winning novel about Americans displaced from their farmland, in part due to government policies. Today, a true-life version is playing out in the rural South. A secretive, multi-billion-dollar federal agency is at the heart of an American battle between government and landowners. It's the Tennessee Valley Authority, led by a CEO who is making 26 times more than the President of the United States. In our story, the landowners are joined by a country music star turned activist who's fighting with a mission and a song. In the rolling hills of Cheatham County, Tennessee, outside Nashville, family farms stretch back generations, and a war over the land has broken out. On one side, hundreds of families like George Wade and his wife.
If it can happen to us, it can happen to you. Any federal bureaucracy, such as TVA, that answers to no one but the president is going to abuse you sooner or later. In this case, they absolutely invaded this county.
On the other side, the Tennessee Valley Authority, or TVA. A mammoth-sized power company and federal agency. Nanette Mahler's property was in the crosshairs.
An you tell me how you first heard and what you heard they wanted to do?
Well, in 2019, they sent an historical surveyor out to find out who lived here, how many people lived in the houses, if they had any historical value. That was 2019.
But that was TVA?
Well, he wouldn't tell me where he was from.
Eventually, Mahler says, a stream of mysterious visitors fessed up to why they were there, to explore building a giant methane gas and lithium-ion battery plant nearby.
I made the TVA guys walk down the road with me, and they said, where will the plant be? And I said, right there. And they shook their heads, and I said, now just tell me, will I be able to live here? Will my neighbors be able to live here? No, this was the answer. No. So at that point, I thought, okay, I've got nothing to lose. I've got to fight this tooth and nail. I think they thought we were just podunk country people out here, but we've got very intelligent people.
One of them, it turns out, is country music star John Rich.
So as I began to interview neighbors, I came here to Nanette's house. I went to George Wade's house. I started just really showing up with a selfie stick and an iPhone. I became an investigative journalist, kind of like what you do. Hey folks, John Rich here. I'm sitting in
John Rich has a personal connection to Cheatham County, including family who still live here. He says he was moved by this video taken last year. It shows a TVA troop of unmarked trucks, surveyors, and armed security rolling in. Property owners didn't mince words.
For the record, I don't want you here. Just saying that. I want everybody everybody know, I don't want you here. This project hasn't been approved. There's no need for all this.
Well,
you guys are going around
anything
the due
you have
process.
to say needs to be directed through your attorney. Anything outside of what, a cordial us telling you what we are doing needs to be directed through your attorney, through our Office of General Counsel.
That day, the TVA parked their trucks on the farm of Sue Nicholson. She owns about 200 acres off Sweet Home Road. Neighbors recorded the encounter and explained to Nicholson why the TVA was there.
And they're here today to take some measurements of your property to put up some high voltage transmission lines.
You think you own something, you don't own nothing.
When you saw that video, what did you think the first time you saw it?
When I saw Miss Nicholson on that video, realizing what TVA was trying to do to her property, my blood ran absolutely cold, like ice water. And when I saw that old lady's face, the only thing I could think of was my Granny Rich. And I thought, that lady's not my Granny Rich, but she's somebody's Granny Rich. She'd been on that land her entire life. And who are these thugs coming out here? I mean, it looked like an ATF raid. Showing up on her property, loaded weapons, vests, standing there like this, like big tough guys. And I said, that is the most egregious, un-American, communistic tactic I've ever seen in my life. Okay, that's it, gloves off. I don't know what we're gonna do, but fists up, here we come. And that's when the fight started.
The Tennessee Valley Authority Act set out to change that.
To understand this fight, you need to know more about the TVA. Created in 1933 under President Franklin D. Roosevelt, it was tasked with building dams and electrifying the rural South, and powering the Manhattan Project during World War II, the secret effort to build the first atomic bombs. Nearly a century later, the TVA remains virtually unchanged, controlling the power grid across 7 states and wielding immense power, answering only to the president, often seizing land through eminent domain when residents refused to sell it. In fairness, Nashville's explosive growth has strained the region's power grid, prompting the TVA to act, and TVA has historically kept electric prices lower than the U.S. average.
They're going to have to blow all these roads out, rebuild all.
But what baffles Rich is why the agency seemed to be ignoring an alternative site it already owns, one that wouldn't displace anybody. On a boat ride with local mayors, they verified that the site of an old coal plant dismantled under President Obama could house the methane gas plant.
So basically what you're looking at is a wide open spot that could be used for electric generation.
It's all there.
It's all right there. So that begs the question, why are you coming to Cheatham County to tear it in half when you've got it sitting right here and you've got a county that would love to see TVA come right back here and turn it back on? Is that all accurate?
That's it. That's it.
So that's over a square mile of property that already has transmission lines, already has gas lines running to Nashville. All this infrastructure is there. Why on earth would TVA not do that? Why are they coming to Cheatham County and trying to tear this place to smithereens? And they said they won't answer that question.
To residents, suspicion is fueled by what they see as the TVA's secrecy, industry connections, and jaw-dropping executive salaries, topped off by its recent past CEO, Jeffrey Lyish. He raked in $10.5 million a year, making him likely the highest paid government employee in the U.S.
I want to turn it over to the Wade family.
In July, Rich's relentless advocacy on social media and a text message to President Trump got the Trump administration to intervene. The TVA announced a sudden, huge change. Based upon feedback received in response to TVA's public scoping process and at board listening sessions with input from the TVA Board of Directors, the site off Lockersville Road is no longer TVA's preferred alternative.
What are your thoughts about the notion that the community may have been successful in beating back plans that some people didn't like?
Well, I'll tell you this, if it were not for John Rich, they wouldn't have listened to us at all. We, the little people out here, do not have a voice. TVA has become a government-sanctioned mafia, and I'm not kidding. if this agency can come and do this, and they've done it for 100 years, if they can continue to do this in 2025, we don't live in America. It's a lie.
This is the TVA's gate that enters the property to where
Rich says this site may be off the table for now, but his job isn't done.
The unfortunate thing is Cheatham County is not unique in this situation. TVA not only has been doing this since the 1930s, they're doing it to other people too right now, this very second. There are other communities that are in the crosshairs as well. And this Cheatham County story, this David and Goliath story, it's a song. And so I wrote a song called The Devil and the TVA, because that's how they operate, and that's how they're thought of. The lyrics of the chorus start off with the words that Mrs. Nicholson said into the camera when she snapped out of her dementia for about 10 seconds. The chorus goes, you think you own something, but you don't own nothing.
When the government man comes around, puts a dirty ass boots on the ground, laughs at your protest with a gun and a bulletproof vest. He don't care what you have to say, he just gonna do it anyway. He'll smile and grin and then take your farm away. He'll tear it all to hell right in your face. Now the devil ain't got nothing on the TVA.
TVA declined our repeated interview requests. For more on this story, check out my podcast, Full Measure After Hours.